The following is an exclusive sports presentation of the RVA Sports Network. And we bid you a very pleasant good afternoon from Hyman Field on the campus of the Benedictine College Preparatory School. Rob Witham along with you live. It is time for beautiful Wednesday afternoon baseball action. Top 10 baseball action as 19-1, number 2 Benedictine, their lone loss to number 1 St. Christopher's, take the field this afternoon against the number 6 ranked Hanover Hawks with a record of 7-4. Began the season 0-4, began the turnaround during their time at the National High School Invitational in late March in Cary, just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. They have not lost since their last 2 games there. They're unbeaten in the month of April. They've lost a couple of games to rainouts, as many others have. So they come in looking to play 9 games here in the next 2.5 weeks before the regular season comes to the close for the Benedictine Cadets in the VISAA. Regular season closes just over a week from now, and the state tournament begins May 14th. Glad you're with us here across the RVA Sports Network, listening live on our YouTube channel. Here's how your family and friends and anyone would like to listen. Just tweeted out a link to our broadcast at both Hanover Sports on Twitter and at the RVA Sportsnet. We have YouTube players at the top of the page at both RVASportsNetwork.com and HanoverCountySports.net. And we have links to our broadcast this afternoon on both of our Facebook pages involving today's game. That would be Facebook.com/RVA Sports Network and Facebook.com/Hanover Sports. We're all set and ready to go. It's warm. It is unseasonably warm, almost record-setting warm today, but the humidity is low, and the breeze is blowing predominantly from right to left field, and that will make a big difference as this afternoon progresses. Casey Green takes the mound for Benedictine this afternoon, the right-hander, and he will get set to face the leadoff hitter, center fielder Will Lopez. Hanover's won 7 straight. Benedictine 19-1, only loss in their regularly scheduled meeting with St. Christopher's. First pitch, fly ball, well hit, left field, going back near the warning track, making the catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch, 1 away here, top of the first.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 7.
And that's going to bring up Jack Dragum. Dragum batting 2 in the order this afternoon, and he is today's starting pitcher for number 6 Hanover. So 1 out and nobody on for Green. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now he works to the UVA commit. First pitch, curve in for strike 1. When the wind whips, we mentioned going from right field to left field. It's not constant. It's somewhat consistent. 0-1 pitch. That one's high, bit inside, 1-1. We'll give you the best view we can of the strike zone this afternoon as our broadcast position a bit down the first base line, about a third of the way down, just next to the edge of the Benedictine home dugout here at Hyman Field. Green gets the signal, and here comes the 1-1. Off speed will make it in there for strike 2. Very similar to the first pitch of the at-bat. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drag him ready. The 1-2. Fastball. Got him. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 1 for Casey Green this afternoon. 2 down, nobody on. And that will bring up the shortstop, Nick Zona. Happy to have you with us here this afternoon on the RVA Sports Network. Whether you're on your way home listening on your mobile device, carefully, hands-free, of course, still in the office listening to us, or maybe your day's already done. Maybe you're on your way out here to enjoy the game. Plenty of time to get out. Should be a great one. First pitch from Green is fouled behind us and out of play for strike 1 to Zona. Hanover had a very rocky start to the 2018 season. Game with Dinwiddie. Rained out not once but twice. Their first game, home encounter with James River, we had here on the Game of the Week. Everything went wrong for them that night. The Rapids took a 13-4 win as off-speed misses there, and Zona is even with Green at 1-1. They lost the first 2 games down at that National High School Invitational. They were 0-4. Then they got 2 wins before they got back here to the RVA, and they've won 5 in a row out of spring break, including 2 encounters during spring break as Zona fouls 1 out of play behind the home plate, and it's now 2-2. Their scheduled game with Patrick Henry last Friday night got rained out. It's reset for May 16th. And so it's 7-4. Hanover may not get all 20 games in. They still got to get that Dinwiddie game in. That's now set for May 18th at the end of the regular season. Pitch. Line down the left field line. Hooking and foul. Up against the fence. And the count will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 out, nobody on here, top of the first, just underway. Number 6 Hanover and number 2 Benedictine. Cadets looking to try to go back-to-back at the state championship level. They have a rival who wants to have something to say about that in number 1 St. Christopher's. The pitch. Just over second base, a little looper. Shortstop's going to go back shallow center. Make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for Hanover here. Top of the first. And that'll bring up number 2 Benedictine with no score. Temperatures right now probably would be considered mid to upper 80s, but it's that May mid or upper 80s when the humidity is extremely low. It's higher than it was yesterday. Yesterday's humidity was outrageous. The dew point sometime during the day was all the way down at like 18 degrees, which is like a winter dew point, even though the temperature soared into the 80s yesterday as well. We got warmer than they expected yesterday and today, and now they're talking 90 and maybe 92 the next couple of days before we get some unsettled conditions into the area, unfortunately, over the weekend. Hanover next travels to Atlee on Friday night. That game should get in without a problem. as Jack Dragum takes the mound for the Hawks. Due up here top of the first is Baylor, Sigler, and White for the Cadets.
Leading off this afternoon for the Cadets, third baseman, number 5, Jamari Baylor, number 5.
Then we wait for warm-ups to wrap up, and we'll get bottom of inning one started. No score, 3 up, 3 down for Hanover if you just joined us. And now the home-standing Cadets getting set for their first at-bat. Jamari Baylor, the third baseman. Sun is briefly behind one tree. It's going to come away from it here in a few minutes, and the sun's going to be beating down on us for the rest of the afternoon. But the lack of humidity and the wind make it bearable. I'm more worried about electronic broadcast equipment in the sun than I am this whole body of mine. Baylor comes into the batter's box. Hawks with final instructions behind the mound, and here we go. Drag him to face Baylor here in the bottom of the first inning. 0-0. Hanover down in order. Top 1. Second of our 2 Game of the Week broadcasts this week. Monday night, of course, you were with us. Atlee upsetting number 10, Glen Allen, in dominating fashion. A 14-4 6-inning game as Dragum's first pitch misses low for ball 1 to Baylor. Baylor, Sigler, White due up here, bottom 1. Dragum sets, delivers. That will miss. The count 2 balls and no strikes to Baylor. Dragum's ready, the 2-0. Ground ball towards short. Zona can't get to it. It hops over the hull of his glove and into left center field. And so Baylor will reach on an error. And that will bring up Callaway Sigler, the DH. That is eerily similar to the way Hanover's opening night game went against James River. Dragum had a problem at shortstop on a play in the top of the first inning, and it was kind of a microcosm or a foreshadowing of things to come on what was a long night for the Hawks. As James River, currently 3rd in our top 10 poll, got a 13-4 win at Hanover. That was one of the worst losses the Hawks have had at home in the last, you have to go back 5-6 years for a loss that lopsided. And boy, was the weather that night completely different from what we have here this afternoon. Temperatures that night were in the mid-30s, and it felt like the mid-teens. It was freezing that Friday night. Sigler had on some jewelry that he shouldn't have and needed a little help taking care of it. Now the necklace is secure and into the dugout, and we can play ball. So Baylor, the runner at first after the error by Zona. Throw back to first, and Baylor's back in safely. Sigler, designated hitter, right-handed hitter. Sets up middle to back half of the batter's box. Drag him back to first, and Baylor in safely. No score, bottom 1 here on the Game of the Week. Dragum will check back first, throw it again. And that time a much closer throw, but Baylor dives in safely. Dragum has an excellent throw to first. Now let's see if he focuses on Sigler now. He will. First pitch, off speed, in for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Sigler with Baylor at first and nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Drag him ready, back to first. That time a bit of a soft toss just to keep Baylor honest. Count again 0-1 to Sigler with Patrick White on deck. Next pitch, misses high. Breaking ball didn't break quite as much as Jack wanted it to, and the count's even at 1-1. Infield a double play depth that continue to hold Baylor at first, and Dragum comes off the rubber. Back to first. Baylor back in standing this time. Sigler having to be very patient in this at-bat with so much activity focused on Baylor, who now goes. Pitch, high, throw, not in time. And Baylor's into second with a stolen base. Nice patience by Baylor. Wait for his opportunity, finally found it. And Worley had a strong throw, was just a bit late. And Baylor now in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. 2-1 pitch. Misses at the dirt. 3-1. Worley with a nice job to block it to keep Baylor from heading to third. But the count's 3-1 with nobody out. I suspect Sigler will be taking all the way here. Try to get runners at first and second for White with nobody out and get something going here. Bottom one at home. 3-1. High for ball four. Sigler draws the walk. Runners at first and second.
Batting the shortstop, number 16, Meg Ryan, number 16.
That's going to bring up, let's see. Yep, that'll bring up Greg Ryan. Sigler, the DH, batting for White, who is in center this afternoon. So Ryan now the batter. He is the shortstop. Strike one at the knees on the first delivery from Dragum. Ryan with the put it out on the kind of lazy pop out just behind second and shallow center to end the top of the first for Hanover. Ryan, a right-handed hitter. Also middle to back half of the batter's box. Dragum looks back at second. Throw back to second. Goes into center field. It gets past Zona, and Baylor will head to third. So the second error of the inning, this one charged to Dragum. The throw going over to Zona was wide to his right. To our left as we are watching the game. Goes into center field. Lopez has to retreat it. And Baylor's at third with still nobody out. Runner at first. Sigler held there. So first and third. Nobody out here, bottom one. 0-1 to Ryan. Now the next pitch. Goes after a low one. Swings and misses. Strike two. Nice job by Dragum to make him chase what was easily ball one. Ryan puts bat to ball, can get it in the grass. It'll be 1-0 Benedictine. But he's down 0-2 here with nobody out. Pitch misses just a bit high. The count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dragum behind the mound, now steps back up on the rubber. Ahead in the count 1-2, but runners at the corners and nobody out here. Bottom one. Pitch high, and Worley barely is able to get up high enough to get that one. That one got away from Dragum indeed. 2-2 now. Count even as Ryan fights without swinging the bat here the last couple of pitches and is able to get from 0-2 to 2-2. Ryan always a threat to make one swing and 3-0. Swing and a miss that time, though. He misses on the off speed, and it's strikeout number 1 for Dragum. So runners at first and third with 1 out. The double play now, a possibility.
Clean up to that first baseman. Number 20, Jack Hall. Number 20.
So Jack Hall, the first baseman, will step up to the plate. We'll see if Jack can get the first runs of the game batted in for Benedictine. First and third with 1 down. First pitch off speed in there nicely from Dragum for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Hall. Holden Fiedler is on deck for the Cadets. No score, bottom one with 1 out and runners at the corners. Dragum ahead, 0-1 the pitch. More off speed, another strike. It's 0-2. Drag 'em fighting through this first inning, trying to get out unscathed with a couple of errors hurting the Hawks' cause. Baylor on due to an error. He got to third due to an error. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. 3 pitches, strikeout number 2 for Jack Dragum. And there are 2 out here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Holden Fiedler. So now 2 down, so they can get the force at second. They can just throw to first if it's a grounder. Anything in the air the outfield can get to, it'll wrap it up. The Cadets will leave 2 on base. First pitch off speed and will miss outside for ball 1. Fiedler wants to get one on the ground into the outfield. For sure get Baylor in. Find a gapper. And Sigler might be able to get in all the way from first, depending upon where it is. Pretty spacious outfield here at Hyman Field. Next pitch, foul, out of play, behind us down the first baseline. And the count's even at 1-1 strike to Holden Fiedler, with Baylor at third and Sigler at first, with 2 down here in the top of the first and bottom of the first inning. Number 6 Hanover, number 2 Benedictine, scoreless at the moment. Benedictine trying to change that. The 1-1 high, 2 balls and 1 strike to Fiedler. Should the inning continue, Josh Brown, the second baseman, is on deck for the Cadets. And now the 2-1 pitch. It's low. And now 3 balls and 1 strike. Drag 'em dangerously close to loading the bases with 2 out. But certainly has to be careful here not to put something right down Fiedler's highway. First and third, 2 down. The 3-1. Fly ball down the right field line. Playable if the first baseman can get there. Tries to, dives, and cannot make the play in foul territory. And we will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was a great effort by Blake Doggett. He had to turn around, run with his back to the plate, trying to get to it, also trying to field where the fence was. Dove for it at the last second, couldn't quite make the catch. So the runners will be going with 3-2, the count with 2 out here in the first to Fiedler. Drag 'em is ready, and here it comes. Foul, just foul, hitting the backstop, and we'll stay full at 3-2. Brown on deck. 0-0. Baylor at third. Sigler at first. Full count with 2 out to Fiedler. Drag 'em's ready. 3-2 again. Off speed. Got him. Strike 3 called. Jack Dragum responds and erases the 2 errors with 3 big strikeouts. And it'll be 2 left on base for Benedictine, bottom 1. And we'll go top of the second. No score here on the game of the week. Number 6, Hanover, nothing. Number 2, Benedictine, nothing. More to come here live on the RVA Sports Network right after this. So Hanover goes down in order, top 1. They come up to the plate now, top of the second inning, looking to get their first runner aboard. First pitch to the third baseman, Cam Grimes, is in there on the off speed for strike one from Green. Casey Green had a relatively easy first inning of work. 0-1, ground ball up the middle, and that's a base hit. Grimes with the single to center. First base runner of the day for the Hawks, and first base runner and hit as well.
Number 5, Mike Warden. Number 5.
So leadoff single for Grimes, and that'll bring up Michael Worley, the Hanover catcher. Hanover never afraid to put on the bunt sign. Always aggressive on the base paths. Throw back to first, and Grimes dives in safely. Hall there at the first base position for Benedictine. Green looks back, now delivers. Bunt is on, pulls back, runner going, throw. One hopper, can't be handled by the shortstop. Second baseman covering behind, and Grimes steals second base without a problem. And now it is Hanover with a runner at second and nobody out. Count 1-0 to Worley. Green looks back at second. Worley shows bunt, pulls back. That's a strike. So the count's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. It is not out of the ordinary for Hanover to pull the bunt sign here, especially if he can try to drag it down the first base line. And at worst, get the runner over to third with 1 out. They'll throw back to second, and that one will go into center field, but it goes with a lot more velocity than Dragham's did. It's a 2-hopper to the center fielder who's able to get it back into the infield quickly. And Grimes does not advance. He'll stay at second. With the count even at 1-1. Green is ready. Worley is ready. He's going to show bunt again. Pulls back low. 2-1. Coach Dragham with the signs down the third base line in the coaching position. Worley ready. Green delivers. Off-speed pitch in there for strike 2, and that time Worley not showing bunt. And the count even at 2-2. Fans still filing in here this afternoon at Benedictine. 2-2 pitch, low. And Worley will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes with the Grimes at second. Nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Greg Ryan, the shortstop, with a quick word for Green. Now we get set for the 3-2 pitch. Nope, going to go off the mound and check at second and stay right there, Green. No throw. There was no one there at second anyway. Green looks back again. Nobody holding on second. Ryan's not going to go. 3-2 pitch. It's a ground ball toward the third baseman. Holds the runner at second. Throw to first in time. That was a great defensive play at third base from Jamari Baylor. Heading towards short, the ball was. He was able to head towards the second baseman and make sure that Grimes did not advance. Got the throw into Hall. And now it's 1 out with the runner still at second. That will bring up Will Bowles, the second baseman. Throw into second base. Grimes is fine. Ryan's going to hang on to the ball, make sure Grimes keeps a foot or a hand on the bag, and he does. And now back to Green. Will Bowles with an RBI opportunity here, top 2. Green looks back again, and a third time. And time called. Bowles will step out of the box. About a half hour into action and top of the second with no score. There's going to be a lot of gamesmanship in this game this afternoon. We expect this to be a long one. Ground ball towards second. Nice play there. The throw is to first. Bowles retired, but he's able to get Grimes over to third on the ground out to the second baseman. 2 out. And a runner 90 feet from home, and that's now the responsibility of the left-handed hitting Blake Doggett. So Doggett, the third baseman. Hit means a run here for Hanover. 2 out, runner at third here in the second. Green's first pitch. Curves in there nicely for strike one. 0-1 the count. Green is ready, the 0-1. Line down the third base line, hooking out of play toward River Road. And the sign at the school entrance. And the count now quickly 0-2 on Doggett with Grimes at third, but 2 out here, top of the second, no score. Doggett's ready. The pitch. Just got a piece of it. Enough to where it knocked the mid off of the catcher's hand. And they're going to call catcher interference on the swing and award Doggett first base.
Right fielder, number 21.
So first and third with 2 out. That sounds familiar. And that brings up Colby Hutton. As Doggett awarded first on the catcher's interference call by the home plate umpire. Hutton, the right fielder, the number 8 hitter in the lineup for Hanover, and a big chance here to get the Hawks the lead. First and third with 2 out. First pitch from Green is a strike. Lockett will get down to second. They'll throw to third, but Grimes back safely. So Doggett takes the stolen base. And now Hutton has 2 in scoring position here with 2 out. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Hutton ready. The pitch misses a bit high. And we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. It dropped, but just a bit late. And we're even at 1-1. Next pitch, swing and a miss. And Hutton now down to the count of 1-2 with 2 out. Green trying to get out of the inning. Benedictine left 2, bottom of the first. Hanover with 2 in scoring position right now. Second and third, here top 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Green is ready. Here comes the 1-2. Strike 3 called on the fastball. And as Dragum gets the big strikeout, in fact, 3 in a row to end the Benedictine threat, Green does the same. And 2 left on board for the Hawks here, top 2. We'll go bottom 2. Here on the game of the week. Coming up, it'll be scheduled Brown, Woolfolk, and Green for Benedictine at 19-1. And we are still scoreless. Don't forget to join us Friday morning, every Friday on the Black and Drew Sports Huddle on ESPN Richmond for RVA locals only. Black and Drew, of course, Bob Black, Andrew Wallace, they wake you up every morning with you from 8 until 10, right after Golick and Wingo from 6 to 8 on ESPN Richmond. And on Fridays at 9:30, we drop by and we talk to the movers and shakers in high school and local sports here in the Metro Richmond area. RVA locals only, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Friday mornings, 9:30, only on ESPN Richmond. That's 99.5 and 102.7 on the FM dial. 950 on your AM dial. You can listen live at espnrichmond.com. or on the ESPN Richmond app. If you don't have that, check out the Apple Store or Google Play and get that today. Black and Drew Sports Huddle every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. RVA Locals only. We're with them every Friday at 9:30. Looking forward to being back in the studio with them Friday. And a big thank you to Farm Bureau Insurance for being the presenting sponsor of RVA Locals Only, as we shine the light on local sports here in the Richmond area. Brown is ready. First pitch from Dragham will miss a bit low for ball one. Josh Brown, the second baseman. Woolfolk is on deck. Casey Green scheduled to bat in the second inning as well. The 1-0. Ground ball towards shortstop. Nick Zona can't get to it. It's going to go into left field. Too far away for Nick to try to dive, and a solid single to left for Brown to start off the bottom of the second inning. And that is the first hit of the afternoon for the Cadets. As Baylor reached on an error in the first inning, Sigler walked. That's how their two base runners got on. There was a walk and two errors in the bottom of the first. Dragham will toss over to first. Keep Brown honest. Jay Woolfolk just committed to play basketball at Hampton University earlier this week. Junior here for the Cadets. First pitch off speed. That's in there nicely at the knees for strike one. Casey Green, today's pitcher, on deck. Nobody out. Leadoff single to left for Brown. Here, bottom two in a scoreless game. Dragham throws back to first. Brown back up top. Standing safely. Doggett, the first baseman, holding. Dragham set. Next pitch off speed is in there. Strike two called. In the grand scheme of things, this game is meaningful to both teams, but more to Hanover than it is to Benedictine, and we'll get into that as time goes on here this afternoon. The 0-2 just tap foul. Woolfolk barely gets a piece to stay alive at no balls and two strikes. You know, for Benedictine at 19-1, nearing the end of their regular season, their concern is, you know, how they're going to be in terms of the brackets when we get going in VISAA tournament action, battling with St. Christopher's. Next pitch, line towards second, going to get past second baseman into right field for a base hit for Woolfolk. And it'll be back-to-back singles to put runners at first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up Casey Green, the pitcher. First and second, nobody out, and Dragham in trouble again. He got out of it last time. Let's see how he handles it this time. Cadets looking to strike first. They couldn't do it in the first. They're going to try to do it here, bottom of the second. Dragham looks back at second. First pitch showing bunt. It's high for ball one. Hanover, on the other hand, with that 0-4 start, they've been battling from behind in terms of Region 4B, where all games matter, all games count. All teams make the tournament in that 13-team region of the Virginia High School League, but there's a point system, and losses are not good. Low on that pitch. Count should be, I think, 2 balls and no strikes, unless we missed one here. The scoreboard is showing 3-0. Worley wants time to go talk to Dragham, and it is corrected to 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So we were saying about Hanover, they're worrying about seeding here. They need as many wins as possible to get as high as possible in Region 4B. The top 4 teams get a bye into the quarterfinal round. If you're the number 5 seed, you're going to have to play the winner of the 12-13 play-in game. So that's an extra game you have to play. So you have to win 3 times to get a state tournament bid instead of just twice. If you're a top 4 seed, you immediately go to the quarterfinal. You host a quarterfinal. And you only need 2 wins to clinch a state tournament bid, as 2 teams from all 4 regions make the state tourneys this year. Next pitch, line to second, dropped. They'll get over to second for one, to first. They get the double play. Can they get the runner at third? No, just safe. We almost had a triple play. The liner was to Bowles, who trapped it on the ground, so he tossed it over to Zona at second to get the out there. Woolfolk retired. Then they throw to first to get the batter. Green retired, and then a quick throw over to third, and they almost got Brown, and that would have been a triple play. So it goes in as a fielder's choice to second in a double play in the end, with a runner at third and two out. And the first pitch to Jack Carpin is in for strike one. That would have been a 4-3-5 triple play had it happened. So close. Next pitch, check swing. He goes, and the count's going to be 1-1. The first pitch I thought was called strike, but apparently it was called ball. Again, our position a little off today. We're about a third of the way down the first base line, so we are not directly behind the plate like we normally are. Ground ball towards second. Bowles will cleanly pick that one up, flip it over to Doggett, and the side's retired, and another left on base at third for Benedictine. No runs, 2 hits, almost a triple play, 1 left on base. And we're through 2 on the game of the week. Our score is number 6, Hanover, nothing, and number 2, Benedictine, nothing. Yep, just over our Twitter feed at Chesterfield Sports, Cosby wishing their Titan baseball team a big good luck as they get set to face James River. We have broadcasted that game for, I think, each of the last at least 3 seasons, maybe 4. This will be the first season in either 4 or 5 years that we did not get a chance to do Cosby James River. That's one of the better rivalries here in the RVA. And of course, only about 12, 13 years old with Cosby opening back, 2006, I believe. It'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters scheduled for Hanover here in the 3rd inning. So Cosby, James River coming up top of the hour. Lee Davis and Glen Allen top of the hour at RF&P Park. They're off of Mountain Road at Meadow Farm Park. Glen Allen coming off that kind of really rough loss Monday night at Atlee, but then they come back. They beat John Marshall at home yesterday. And their 3rd game in as many days. Not at home. It's a home game, but it's moved a few miles from the school to beautiful Glen Allen Stadium at RF&P Park. That's where they'll take on Lee Davis here in a few moments. And that is where Benedictine suffered their only loss of the season back on April 14th to St. Christopher's. They beat St. Chris in the title game of the Deep Run Spring Break Invitational, and then their annual Buddy Ball game, they fell there at RF&P on that Saturday night. First pitch is fouled out of play behind us for strike one to Sam Lipscomb, today's designated hitter. And the number 9 batter in the Hanover order, Lopez, top of the order on deck. Both teams have had chances to get on the board, but we are still scoreless after 2. Oh, 1 pitch. Foul back to the screen, and the count quickly 0-2 to Sam Lipscomb. Lipscomb, right-handed hitter. He's ready. Pitch hits him. And Lipscomb will wear one for the team and take the leadoff hit by pitch to first. And back to the top of the order, Will Lopez, who had a fly out to deep left field to start this afternoon's action.
Number 3, Will Lopez. Number 3.
So Lopez to the plate, Lipscomb on first. Nobody out here, top of the third. First pitch showing bunt, lays it down very nicely. Green's going to try to get to second, and he will get there in time as Lipscomb came in standing. Probably should have slid there, so it'll be a bunt fielder's choice to the pitcher. And out at second, Lopez safe at first. So they trade positions. Do Lipscomb and Lopez. One out, runner at first for Dragum. Dragum struck out his first time up. First pitch, high for ball one. Lopez went a bit and then hightailed it back to first base. No throw from the catcher. Dragum that foot right on the back of the batter's box. Well, what used to be the line. And he'll call time. We mentioned going to be a little bit of gamesmanship in this one this afternoon. Both teams need the win in terms of playoff positioning, but there's a lot of bragging rights for two of the best programs in the RBA. 1-0, pitch low, 2-0, and a stolen base for Lopez. Head first slide safely. Throw was low. And Ryan was backing up the second baseman, Brown, and was able to grab the ball to make sure it didn't go into center field. So Lopez to second on the stolen base. And the count should be 2 balls and no strikes to Dragum. No score, top of the third, and Green will step off the rubber. Pitch, misses inside, and we'll go to 3-0 on Dragum. Far different at bat for Jack than the first time when he struck out. Memory serves me correctly, strike three called. Now he's ahead 3-1. We'll see if coach gives him the green light here. With the runner at second, the 3-0 pitch hit him. My goodness. So now we've got runners at first and second, both due to hit by pitches. We'll put Zona in the batter's box. And we're going to get a coach's visit to Casey Green. Coach heads out to talk to the right-hander. So an unusual top of the third. Lipscomb hit by the pitch. The bunt from Lopez. They were able to get the lead runner at second. Lopez at first. He steals second. Dragum hit by the pitch. They'll bring in a courtesy runner here. And that'll be Cole Wallace running. So Wallace running for Dragum. He's at first. Lopez at second. One out, top three, no score. And the shortstop, Nick Zona, at the plate. Green is ready. And the first pitch is high for ball one, and it's tight, too. Green is definitely having some issues here. Zona ready. First and second. Green will go back to second. Lopez is okay. Ryan tries to pretend the ball got away from him in center field. Lopez isn't buying it. The count is 1-0 with one out and two aboard here in the third. Pitch inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Everything inside right now for Green. Wind picks up. You can occasionally hear it here in our microphone. We are outside here today, not in a press box. Here at beautiful Hyman Field. The 2-0 pitch. Hit him. Unbelievable. Zona becomes the third batter in this inning to be hit by Green, and the bases are loaded for Cam Grimes. Ryan goes up to talk to Green. Grimes singled to lead off the second inning. Cam's going to look to get something in the outfield. Grab a couple of runs here. And the lead for Hanover. It's been handed to him on a silver platter. First pitch. Inside for ball one. And Green is just, it's been a really rough inning for Casey Green. Not only has he hit 3 batsmen, but almost every pitch has been inside. Next pitch, popped it up. And the first baseman in foul territory will make the catch for a critical second out of the inning. So with 2 out here in the third and the bases loaded, it's Michael Worley, the catcher, to the plate. Bases full of Hawks on 3 hit batsmen. They'll go back to second, and they'll get the runner Wallace for the third out of the inning. Great work by Green to see Wallace had taken a huge lead, and he was exposed. Ryan got behind him. The throw was perfect, and the pickoff works. And an absolutely huge sigh of relief for Green after really struggling on the hill in that third inning. In the end, 3 hit batsmen, but nobody scores. And a couple of huge opportunities by the board for both Hanover and Benedictine as we go bottom 3. Scoreless here on the Game of the Week. Still Hanover nothing and Benedictine nothing as we go bottom 3. And a quick update here to our fans on Twitter. On the RVA Sportsnet. And we'll also send them a quick link so everybody can join us here live. Thanks to everyone with us here this afternoon. Next game of the week is softball action, top 10 action on Monday. We'll be live at Hanover High School, number 8 Hanover, taking on Abbey White and the Trojans of Midlothian, a big Region 4B battle with playoff positioning scenarios abounding for those 2 young teams. 2 of the youngest softball teams in the area. Hanover had a good start. They've come to earth a little bit, but part of it is because of their monster schedule. When you end up having to play home and homes with 3 other top 10 teams within your own county, it gets tough. And Hanover, Midlothian, either one of them capable of putting on a run at Region 4B tournament time. Monday night, we'll be on the air, 6 Eastern, on our YouTube channel. Subscribe today at youtube.com/RVA Sports Network. And, of course, our broadcast schedule always on the right-hand side of the page at RVASportsNetwork.com. First pitch from Dragon misses high for ball 1 to Jamari Baylor. Top of the order for the Cadets here in the bottom of the third inning. Still nothing. Dragon set the 1-0 inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Jamari Baylor. Baylor reached on the air by Zona on the sharp grounder to start the bottom of the first inning for the Cadets, and he'll call timeout and step out of the box and readjust the gloves. And we're just about 6 Eastern, so James River Cosby about to start and Lee Davis Glen Allen about to get going at RF&P Park. Dragum delivers the 2-0. Ground ball again towards short. Zona with the backhand gets it. Long throw to Doggett is high. He'll miss the tag, and he'll be safe. And Baylor will reach again, this time on an error throwing by the shortstop Zona. Had it been on the money, it would have been out number 1. And Baylor will be at first with nobody out. That'll bring up Sigler. Head coach Charlie Dragum wants a word with the field umpire on that call, thinking maybe Doggett had swipe tagged and gotten Baylor just before he reached first. His plea will not be heard. And it will be a runner at first with nobody out, and Callaway Sigler, the DH, to the plate. Back in the first, he walked after a Baylor stolen base. Dragum is ready, and Sigler steps into the batter's box. No score, bottom 3. Back to first. Baylor dives in safely. Back over to first again, and safe. And Sigler being very patient, just waiting for whenever Dragum pulls his attention onto him. First pitch, misses inside and low for ball 1. Benedictine wins tonight. It'll be their 20th win of the year. They are 19-1. With their regular season scheduled to end next weekend, VISAA postseason starts a week from Monday, May 14th. Whereas the VHSL region tournaments do not begin until May 23rd. Swing and a miss. They'll say it's a foul tip. Comes out of Worley's mitt. And it'll be a strike. Baylor stays at first. One and one the count, no score, bottom 3. Dragum ready. It's soft toss back to first base. Baylor up standing. And in safely. Lee Davis Glen Allen softball getting ready to start top of the hour. That is at Glen Allen High School. There goes Baylor. Worley with the throw. He now goes back toward first. The tag, not in time. And Baylor survives at first base. Dragum gets ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice throw there by Worley. Count at 1 and 2. Baylor again off the bag. Dragum again checking him out. Sigler ready, back to first. Baylor okay, in there fine. And the game of cat and mouse continues. Lee Davis, number 3 in our latest softball top 10 poll, coming off that dramatic come-from-behind win on the game of the week Friday night against Atlee. Next pitch, fly ball, well hit into center field. Lopez going back, near the fence, makes the catch in deep center for the first out of the inning. So Sigler got a hold of it, but not quite enough. 1 out, runner at first. And that'll bring up Ryan.
Number 16.
1 down here in the 3rd inning. Glen Allen, only 1 loss on the year, and that was to number 1 Prince George. They have ascended to number 6 in our latest RVA Sports Network softball top 10. They went to Atlee and got a come-from-behind win there, 3-1 on Monday night. Only the 2nd time in school history that Glen Allen had defeated the Raiders. Now they host Lee Davis. fighting for that number 2 seed behind Prince George right now in Region 5B. Ryan shows bunt, pulls back, takes a called strike. Prince George has head-to-head wins over Lee Davis and Glen Allen. Now, it's not head-to-head or anything like that in terms of standings. It's all a point system, but Prince George ahead right now. The problem for them, though, down the stretch is going to be strength of schedule in the Central District. But it also is all about who you play, and they get to play teams. You know, they get a Thomas Dale, which is in Class 6, so there's extra points for that. There are no Class 6 teams for Lee Davis Glen Allen to play north of the river. 0-1 pitch, misses high, 1 ball and 1 strike. And so it is a possibility if things hold to form that what we could be seeing tonight with that Lee Davis Glen Allen softball game could be a preview of a Region 5B semifinal with the winner moving to the state tournament and the loser going home May 30th. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and Ryan down to the count 1-2 with Baylor still at first. Bottom 3, no score. Number 6 Hanover, number 2 Benedictine here on the game of the week on the RBA Sports Network. Second game of the week. Always nice when we can get 2 of them in for you. After that big Atlee baseball win over Glen Allen 14-4 Monday night. Drag them ready. The 1-2 runner goes foul out of play down the first base line. And they'll kindly ask to return the ball to the dugout. And we'll stay at 1-2 with 1 out. Baylor not getting as much attention from Dragom, who steps off the rubber. He's focusing a little bit more on Ryan here, the number 3 batter in the order, with Hall, the first baseman, on deck. 1-2 the count with 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. He'll go back to first now, and Baylor's in standing. Doggett at first, Bowles at second, Zona at short, Grimes at third defensively in the infield for Hanover. One-two pitch, runner going, pitch low, 2-2 the count. Ball late coming in. Baylor with his second stolen base of the afternoon. So Baylor back to second for the second time today. The count now even at 2-2 with 1 out in the 3rd. And Ryan, with the base hit, could get Baylor home and get a 1-0 lead for homestanding Benedictine. 2-2. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Strike 3, and Ryan is retired for out number 2. So 2 down here in inning number 3, and it'll bring up the first baseman, Hall.
Number 20, Jack Hall, number 20.
Jack struck out his first time up back in that first inning when Dragom had trouble thanks to a couple of errors, including one of his own, trying to pick off play at second. Ended up striking out 3 to get out of the jam. Here, Baylor at second with 2 out. And Hall certainly a threat to put one over the fence to make it 2-0. First pitch, runner going. Throw to third. And Grimes wasn't ready. You heard him yelling, no, 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 but he got over in time to at least field the play, because if it gets past him, Baylor's home free. He could walk home as the left fielder's playing way off the line. And assistant coach Tyler Kane wants to have a word with the infield. And we'll get a timeout here called by Hanover, with Baylor now at third with his 3rd stolen base today. 2 out, and the count will be 1-0 to Jack Hall. Should Hall get aboard, Holden Fiedler is on deck. Crowd has filed in nicely here this afternoon at Hyman Field off of River Road, not far from Patterson Avenue, here in beautiful Goochland County, Virginia. The 1-0 pitch at the knees for strike one. 1-1 the count, with Baylor at third and 2 out here, bottom 3. Dragum is ready. The 1-1 off speed in there nicely for strike 2. Now hauled down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. May 2nd. Hard to believe, in about 5 weeks, high school season for 2017-18 will be in the books. The 1-2 off speed, missed, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now it gets a little trickier for Dragum. As Hall, of course, doesn't have to hit one over the fence. One down the left field line, he can go a while, that's for sure. Left fielder playing way off the line, almost in left center. 2-2, off speed, got him. Strike 3 called. And Dragum again gets a big strikeout to hold Baylor at third, stranded there for the 2nd time this afternoon. We are through 3 today on the game of the week. There has been a ton of action, but no one's scored yet. Hanover nothing, Benedictine nothing. Back in just a moment, live on the RVA Sports Network. First pitch of the 4th inning is fouled off by catcher Michael Worley as we come back to you live here at Hyman Field at Benedictine College Preparatory in beautiful Goochland County, Virginia. Rob Witham along with you here live on the RVA Sports Network on the game of the week. 4th inning, no score. Next pitch from Green bounces at the plate, and the count will be even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Worley. Worley bowls dogged, due up here in the 4th for Hanover. Chopper toward third. Baylor runs after it, handles it cleanly, and a nice throw to Hall at first to retire Worley for the first out of inning number 4. So 1 away for the second baseman bowls. Fans, we mentioned next game of the week is softball, Midlothian at number 8 Hanover, Monday night at 6 here on our YouTube channel. And then a week from Monday night, May 14th, we're going to have a special game of the week broadcast. First pitch misses for ball 1 to Bowles, as we're going to be live in Ashland, and we're going to join forces with Patriot Talk Live for our first ever broadcast together in the regular season. 1-0 pitch. Off-speed misses low. 2 balls and no strikes to Bowles. It'll be Dinwiddie and number 5 Patrick Henry in Region 4B softball action. That's May 14th at 6. I'll be joining Kelly Hughes on the call on Patriot Talk Live. Looking forward to that. Next pitch green at the knees for 2 balls and 1 strike. And again, our Game of the Week broadcast schedule always updated on the right-hand side of the page at rvasportsnetwork.com. 2-1 with 1 out and nobody on here in the 4th. Bowles is ready. Green delivers. That's in there for strike 2. 2-2, the count. Nothing fancy about that pitch, just straight down the pike. It is very, very, very comfortable outside now with the wind dying down a bit. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bowles is retired. Green with much better control on the pitch than he had last inning when he hit 3 different Hawks. 2 out, nobody on for Doggett, the first baseman. And it's not the wind dying down that helps us feel better out here. In fact, the wind actually feels wonderful when it does kick up, and it's starting to kick up again. Just with the low levels of humidity. First pitch, big swing and a miss for Doggett for strike 1. Even though we're still in the 80s, the humidity is so low, it just makes it comfortable. And with the trajectory of the sun now going down in early May, not as much heating as Doggett pops it up into shallow left center field. Left fielder calling, and he'll make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So inning 4 offensively for Hanover mirrors inning 1, where Casey Green mows them down in order 1, 2, 3. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Cadets up, trying to get their first run of the afternoon, still scoreless. It'll be Fiedler, Brown, Wolfhook scheduled here in the bottom of the 4th. Our buddy Eric Kalenich of the Richmond Times-Dispatch in the house this afternoon. And you can read about today's Hanover Benedictine game tomorrow morning in the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Or if you have a digital subscription, you can check out the story overnight and first thing in the morning at richmond.com. And, of course, at 804varsity.com. It's always good to see Eric, excuse me, out and about. And very, very happy to, we announced it last week on Twitter, second week that RVA Sports Network and Hanover Sports specifically now joining our coverage with the Mechanicsville local and the Hanover local in Hanover County. You can look at and get our story on the huge Game of the Week softball win in 9 innings Friday night for Lee Davis over Atlee. In today's new editions of the Mechanicsville local and Hanover local, they are delivered to houses all over Hanover County. You can also pick them up at locations across the county, and they are absolutely free. So check out our coverage in the Mechanicsville local and the Hanover local. Glad to be with our buddy Dave Lawrence and the team over there at the local. So Fiedler to the plate, bottom of the 4th. Benedictine has been threatening all afternoon. They've had runners all afternoon. No 1, 2, 3 innings yet for Dragum. First pitch is low for ball 1. They left 1 at third in the first. They left 2 aboard in the third. Let me try that again. They left 2 in the first, including Baylor at third base. Ground ball tap foul down the line. And we're even at 1-1. They left 1 aboard in the second, 1 aboard in the third, but that was Baylor at third again. So Jamari Baylor's been on board twice thanks to errors. Reached third both times, stolen 3 bases, but has yet to touch home plate. And we're still scoreless here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dragum is ready. So is Fiedler. The 1-1. High, 2 balls and 1 strike to Holden. Fiedler, right-handed hitter, preferring the front part of the batter's box. Gets into that one down to center field. Lopez going back, going back, going back. At the wall, it's gone. just over the fence to the right of the scoreboard. It's a solo shot for Holden Fiedler, and Benedictine finally breaks on top first. It is 1-0 Cadets. Home run almost straight away center field. 1-0 Benedictine. It looked like he got all of it. It kept carrying. Lopez kept going back and back. For a moment, you wondered if maybe he could make another play near or at the warning track. And then when he started, you could see more of Lopez's back than his front. You knew it was trouble for Hanover. First pitch, a pop-up foul, and it's going to go out of play to our right, down the right field line for strike one to Josh Brown. So 1-0 Benedictine. Next pitch, line to third base and down the left field line. That's a base hit and could be more. Brown in first, headed for second. Throw coming in well late, and that's a double for Josh Brown.
Now batting the left fielder, number 18. Jay Wolfolk.
Wolfolk will come to the plate. He had a hit his first time up this afternoon. Brown is now 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Wolfolk had a single. They had back-to-back singles in the second and then could not convert it into runs. Benedictine with one in and now one in scoring position and nobody out. Bottom of the fourth, and they're starting to touch up, drag them here. Brown, the runner at second. He'll step off the rubber. We'll drag him. Wolfolk getting set. Green, the pitcher, is on deck. Nobody out. One run in and a runner at second. Wolfolk ready, and now Dragum finally ready. First pitch in the dirt. Worley blocks it for ball one. Did not want the runner Brown to advance 90 to third. And Worley, nice work there. One ball, no strikes. Dragum looks back at second and delivers. Off speed, will miss low. 2 balls and no strikes. Remember, Dragum struggled early in the first inning and then fought back and got 3 strikeouts to keep the Cadets off the board in the first. They've left 4 on base in the first 3 innings. The 2-0 is a chopper toward third. It gets over Grimes' head. Round in third, Brown. He'll come in to score. Runner goes to second. Wolfolk, as the throw home is not held by Worley. Backing him up is Dragum to find it. And it's 2-0 Benedictine. Almost a Baltimore chop single over Grimes' head. No way in the world he could play it. And an RBI for Wolfolk as Brown scores. And Jay will quickly go down to second on the throw home. So it'll be Casey Green to the plate. Wolfolk and Brown exchange positions. Jay now at second with nobody out. And 2 in for the Cadets. And Green looking to help his own cause here. Bottom 4, 2-0 Benedictine. First pitch showed foul, bunted it back to the screen for strike one. Dragum set, next pitch, pulled away, ball 1. Green showing bunt again. That pitch missed low and away. One ball, one strike. Nobody out. Woolfolk, the runner at second after the single, brought home Brown from second, who doubled after the homer from Holden Fiedler, got the Cadets on the board. Green showing bunt. That one high. 2-1 the count. Hawks have to get back on the bus again and head to Atlee on Friday night, a team they dominated in their first meeting between the two teams a few weeks ago. Throw down to second, and Woolfolk's back safely. Zona covering there. Atlee will be coming off that big win against Glen Allen. They won also on Tuesday. No, they did not play it Tuesday. They're playing tonight. They've got Gloucester in right now at home. Atlee in the middle of an important homestand here in the latter part of the season. 2-1 pitch showing bunt. He'll get it. Grimes, barehanded, throw to first in time. Woolfolk will advance to third on the sacrifice bunt. And there's one out here in the fourth.
Now batting the right fielder, number 11, Jack Coffey, number 11.
So one out here in the fourth. Runner to third, 2 runs in, and Carpin, your batter. Number 9 hitter in the order and the right fielder. We saw a squeeze from Glen Allen Monday night on the game of the week. That's how they got their first run of the afternoon in before Atlee exploded for 9 runs late for the 14-4 win. Infield is playing in with the runner at third. First pitch in there for strike one. With the top of the order, Baylor on deck. Oh, 1 pitch. That's in there at the knees for strike 2. 0-2 the count on Carpin with 1 out. Woolfolk at third and 2 in for the Cadets here in the fourth, up 2-0 on Hanover. Number 2 leading number 6. Hanover's 7-game win streak on the line here. 0-2. Tapper foul down the third base line, and Carpin will stay alive at 0-2. Hanover in the 5th inning. It'll be the 8-9 one-hitters, Hutton, Lipscomb, Lopez, scheduled to hit. Again, 0-2 to Carpin. Drag him ready. Delivers high. Worley saves a run by Skyen to get that one. And the count's 1-2 now to Jack Carpin. Bottom 4, 2-0 Cadets. The pitch foul back to the screen. Carpin stays alive at 1-2. There is warm-up action in the Hanover bullpen. Eric Anderson is loosening up for the Hawks. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch went for it low, swing and a miss, strike 3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 down for the top of the order and Jamari Baylor, who has reached base twice today. The first time was a sharply hit ball to Nick Zona at short that went off the heel of his glove and into left center field. Air charged there. And then on the next at-bat, easier hit ball to Zona, but his throw was wide. Doggett had to take the foot off the bag in order to catch the ball, try to swipe tag, it didn't work. So reached twice on errors did Baylor. He's got 3 stolen bases, and he's been stranded twice at third base. He looks at strike 1. And now drag him ready with the 0-1 pitch with Woolfolk off of third base. Strike 2 called as the breaking stuff works to perfection there. And the count 0-2. Dragon wants to limit it to just the 2 here in the 4th. Fiedler home run, then Brown doubles, and then Woolfolk singles to get Brown home. Baylor will call time, and Dragon will leave the rubber briefly. He'll tow it again. And Baylor back to the box. 0-2 the count. Woolfolk at third, 2 down. And 2 in for Benedictine. Pitch. Line into right field. Going back, and going to make the catch. The right fielder with a great catch there. That was Colby Hutton, who will lead off the 5th. But the Cadets finally get on the board on the Fiedler homer, and then the double from Brown, the single on the RBI for Woolfolk to bring Brown home, and we go to the 5th inning with our score, number 2 Benedictine 2 and number 6 Hanover 0. Back in just a moment as the game of the week continues on the RVA Sports Network. So Hutton, who made the nice catch in right field to end the 4th inning and leave the Cadets with 1 stranded but 2 in. Leading off here, top of the 5th for Hanover, now down 2-0. The count 1-2 on him, and he's going to get called on strike 3. And there is 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Sam Lipscomb.
The designated hitter, number 18. Sam Lipscomb, number 18.
Lipscomb with 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the 5th. That's foul. And out of play down the right field line for strike 1. Top of the order, Lopez due up. Also here in the top of the 5th for Hanover, now down 2-0. On the solo homer from Holden Fiedler into center field, just to the right of the scoreboard. As Green misses a bit low, and with the count of even to 1-1 to Lipscomb. And Josh Brown doubled down the left field line. And Woolfolk had a chop single over the head of Grimes at third to score Brown. Swing and a miss as Lipscomb went after a pitch that didn't even get to the plate. It bounced over it. And the count 1-2. Sam will try to regroup from that decision. 1-2, 1 out, no one on base. The pitch missed. 2-2. And again, occasionally, fans, we can't tell you exactly how something misses. We're about a third of the way down the first base line here, so we could have access to our electrical plug, so we could be on the air with you this afternoon. Next pitch, got him at the knees, strike 3 called. 2 down, nobody on. A pair of Ks for Casey Green, who after struggling mightily in the third, hitting 3 batters, has fought his way back and is in control right now. And it'll bring up Lopez, the leadoff hitter who flew out to deep left to lead off the game. And then he had a bunt fielder's choice that the pitcher grabbed and got the lead runner at second back in the third. And now Lopez looking to start a 2-out rally here for the Hawks, down by 2. As evening begins to settle in here at Benedictine. First pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Drag him on deck should the inning continue. Next pitch, popped it up, foul, and out of play back behind us. Hits the tree and causes a couple of birds to scatter. They're okay. That's why they scattered. And the count's 1-1. 2 down, top of the 5th. Hawks down 2-0. Pitch. Off speed, in there nicely for strike 2. Green ahead 1-2. Got an update from RF&P Park. We'll share that with you in just a moment. Pitch, swing and a miss, and they'll tag Lopez as the catcher dropped the ball. It is strikeout the side time for Green. And since that struggle in the third, Casey Green is on fire. 6 in a row retired, 4th and 5th inning combined. 4 of them through the strikeout. We go bottom 5. And Benedictine back to bat with their 2-3-4 hitters due up, and they lead it 2-0. Glen Allen has taken an early 1-0 lead on Lee Davis. They are going to the 3rd inning at RF&P Park. Our buddy Doug Hines in the house there this afternoon, and we thank him, of course, for his updates today and all season long. Doug's everywhere. Does PA at Deep Run, PA at Glen Allen, and he's in the house at RF&P tonight as well. So 1-0 Jaguars leading Lee Davis, and that's a key game for both of those teams over in Region 5B. Again, same reason why the Atlee-Glen Allen game Monday night on our Game of the Week was big for those two teams, as they're all in the thick of trying to make the postseason. Remember, in Region 5B, 15 teams, only 8 make the playoffs. It's not like Region 4B where Hanover is, where they have 13 teams and they all make it. You got to be in the top 8 if you want to play in the postseason in Region 5B, and certainly Glen Allen and Atlee in the top 8 right now, but Lee Davis fighting. Hermitage is in there. Boy, Hermitage had a chance to steal a win last night. They had a doubleheader with Deep Run. Took it into extra innings because 2 5-inning games. Game 1 went into the 6th, and Deep Run was able to nip by the Panthers, and then they had a big win in game number 2. That was a tough break for a Hermitage team that is fighting for a playoff spot, too. You've got Matoaka, who lost to Thomas Dale last night, and that was their first loss of the year. So you think about who you have. You got Prince George, Matoaka. You've got the teams in the West End, Glen Allen, Mills, Godwin, Douglas, Freeman, and Deep Run. You've got Atlee and Lee Davis in Hanover County. You've got Hermitage in the near West End. So there's 9 teams there. Well, only 8 are going to make it. Playoffs begin in Region 5B on May 25th. Playoffs begin in Region 4B on the 23rd. It may be early next week, but we're hoping soon to be able to give you as much playoff information as we have. Coming up at RVASportsNetwork.com, so you can kind of look ahead at the new landscape. If you're a sports fan of baseball or softball or soccer or lacrosse, and you don't pay much attention to the sports earlier in the year, then you don't know maybe about some of the nuances of the new playoff system with no more conferences in the Virginia High School League. It's not a conference tournament, a region tournament, and a state tournament anymore. It's straight to the region and then to an expanded state tournament where the quarterfinals are back. New pitcher in for Hanover, and that's Nick Zona. He'll take over for Jack Dragum, who works Ford this afternoon, and Jack will take over at Zona's position at short. Pitch, drive, left field, deep left field, near the wall, and making the catch, the left fielder for the first out of the inning. Sigler retired. That is his second fly ball that just misses going yard. In the third, it was to center. And here in the fifth, it's to left. So Zona retires the first batter he faces. The shortstop, Greg Ryan, to the plate. One out, nobody on, bottom of the fifth, 2-0. First pitch from Zona is in for called strike one. Hanover at 7-4. Benedictine's got a lot more action in. They are 19-1, but their regular season ends a week earlier, too. That one misses high on the off speed. 1 ball and 1 strike. One out, nobody on here in the bottom of the fifth. Benedictine leading Hanover 2-0. Time called as Zona went into his windup. Ryan stepped out of the batter's box. So no pitch. And now we're ready. The 1-1. Ground ball to third. Grimes handles it nicely. Throw to Doggett at first, and there's 2 down in the fifth. That'll bring up the first baseman, Hall.
The cleanup hitter at first baseman, number 20, Jack Hall.
Hall this afternoon struck out in the first. Struck out to end the third inning. So 0 for 2 on the day. Fiedler, the home run hero, on deck as Zona's first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Expectations are always high for these two programs. Next pitch high in the count 2-0. Benedictine defending state VISAA AA Division I champions. Wanting to go back again and do it again. Hanover losing in the state championship in the old Class 4. The old Group 4A. Now it's called Class 4. In the last 5 years, Hanover won the state championship in the old Group AAA in 2013. Won it again in the new Group 4A in 2014. Lost in the state semis to eventual champion Glen Allen in 15. Popped it up to the pitcher Zona, and he'll make the catch for the third out of the inning. And 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the fifth. For the Cadets, Zona is able to retire the side, although he breathes a sigh of relief because Sigler almost goes yard. And we go top 6 now with Benedictine up 2-0. Continuing the thought about Hanover and their high expectations. 2015, they lost in the old 4A South Region final to Glen Allen at RF&P Park. And then they lost in the state semis, and Glen Allen won the title that year. And then Glen Allen was moved up to 5A the next year because of enrollment. Every 2 years, VHSL lowers and raises some schools. The higher class you are, it's because you have bigger enrollment. Patrick Henry, that's why they're down to 4 this year after being in 5 for many years. Other schools, it wasn't that Patrick Henry shrunk, it was that other schools grew and were just bigger than Patrick Henry. So they got squeezed down to 4. Hanover in 2016 won the championship in that incredibly wild final against Liberty Christian, and then Liberty Christian got the better of them in the rematch in the state championship last year. So 3 state championships, 4 state title appearances, and 5 straight state tournament appearances for Hanover since 2013. So they expect to go to the state tournament every year. That is just an expectation for Coach Dragum and his team. Benedictine also looks for excellence and state championships at the VISAA. And they won a back-to-back title here in 2018. For Hanover here in the 6th, they're at the heart of the order. This could be their best last chance. 2, 3, 4 hitters, Dragum, Zona. And we begin with Jack now at shortstop. Grimes scheduled to bat third here in the 6th. First pitch from Green in the dirt for ball 1.
Number 7, Jack Dragum. Number 7.
Again, next game of the week, Monday night, we're at Hanover for softball. Number 8, Hanover and Midlothian live at 6 Eastern on our YouTube channel. Fly ball right field. Right fielder going back now, coming up, trying to make the play. Misjudged it, and he misses it. Dragum, running the whole time, will stand up and be in at second base. So an error on the right fielder puts Jack Dragum at second to lead off the 6th and bring up Nick Zona. The wind got a little bit of that ball, but the wind wasn't really doing a lot at the moment of that hit. I think the right fielder just thought that it was going to go a lot further than it did. He realized it and started coming up on the ball as quickly as he possibly could and couldn't quite make the catch. So the error puts Dragum at second with nobody out, and the tying run aboard, Nick Zona to the plate. Green in his 6th inning of work. First pitch, off speed in for strike 1 to Zona. Zona today popped out to the shortstop. Was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. 0 for 1. Bunt. And the third baseman thought the shortstop was coming to get it. Nobody did, and everybody's safe. As Dragum goes to third, and Zona is safe at first. Small ball for the Hawks. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And the cleanup hitter, Cam Grimes. Grimes singled to center. In the 2nd inning, he fouled out to the first baseman in the 3rd. 1 for 2 today. And he represents the go-ahead run. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Infield double play depth, holding at first. First pitch Green in there nicely, off speed for strike 1. Green's concern right now just needs to be taking care of Grimes at the plate. Let the other chips fall where they may. Get that first out. 0-1 runner going. Fly ball, and that's a foul, and it's going to go out of play. And so quickly the count 0-2, and Zona has to go back to first. Oh and 2, Green is ready. First and third pitch. Grimes thought it had hit him, and he was on his way to first, and the umpire says, hold on just a moment. You leaned into that one. And are they going to call that 1-2? Or are they going to call it strike 3? They call it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Say it was inside. Coach Dragum with a word with the home plate umpire and not happy with that call whatsoever because it could be bases loaded with nobody out. It hit him, but they're not going to give him the base if he leans in. 1-2, they'll toss back to first to put Zona back in safely. Dragum at third. Reaching on the air by the right fielder to start this rally for the Hawks here, top of the 6th. 1-2, swing and a miss, and Grimes is retired. Big, huge first out of the inning for Green and the Cadets. Now you can play a double play depth and try to get out of the inning here. So Michael Worley to the plate. With Dragum at third, Zona at first. The hit and run doesn't work. Otherwise, Zona's at second. Double play is not an option. Now it is, and with the strikeout, could end the inning. Zona going. Throw to second. Not in time. On the first pitch, Zona eliminates the double play hope and steals second base. So now second and third with one out. And Worley could get two in with a gapper. Time called by Worley. Pitch is not counted. And Green continues to work here. He's worked 5 1/3. Still has the shutout, but Hanover threatening here in the 6th. He'll step off briefly with the count 0-1 with one out. The pitch. Line into left field. Left fielder Wolfhook diving to make the catch for the second out of the inning. Dragum will tag and come in to score. So it's a line drive, sacrifice fly to left. Dragum will come in to make it 2-1. And Zona will stay at second base. So Worley gets the run in to cut the lead to 2-1. And with 2 down, it'll bring up the second baseman, Will Bowles.
Now batting the second baseman, number 13, Will Bowles, number 13.
So Zona at second, drag him in on the sacrifice fly, 2 out. They'll throw back to second. Ryan trying to play cat and mouse again. Zona's like, no. And he'll stay there at second. Hit could mean a run. 2 out. They got to have a hit or in some way, shape, or form get Bowles on base. First pitch curves in for nicely for strike 1. 2-1. Benedictine. Green ready. The 0-1. Fly ball into right field. Going back, the right fielder going back, and he's able to make the catch for the third out of the inning. So 1 run in, 1 runner stranded. 5.5 in the books here today at Hyman Field. Number 2, Benedictine 2. Number 6, Hanover 1. Back in just a moment here live on the RVA Sports Network as our game of the week continues. So we welcome you back in, fans. Rob with them along with you. Bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher for Hanover will be Eric Anderson. It will be the third pitcher of the afternoon, as the Hawks try to keep it at 2-1, but they got to deal with Holden Fiedler, who had the solo homer last time up to get the Cadets on the board. First pitch, Fiedler chases a low one for strike one. Glenn Allen strikes for 4 runs in the third inning, and they now take a 5-0 lead on Lee Davis after 3 at RFMP Park. Next pitch in there at the letters for strike 2. So Anderson ahead of the count, 0-2 to Fiedler. Fiedler, Brown, Woolfolk, who did all the damage for Benedictine in the 4th inning. Here in the bottom of the 6th, the scheduled hitters. 0-2. Fly ball well hit into left field. Left fielder going back, now settles in and will make the catch for the first out of the inning. So Hutton retires Fiedler.
Second baseman number 2, Josh Brown, number 2.
So 1 out and nobody on for Brown, who lined a double down the left field line 2 innings ago and then later scored on the single from Woolfolk. And right now, that's the winning run should the score hold. Bottom 6, 2-1. First pitch misses a bit low, and Anderson behind at the count 1-0. So Green's gone the whole way, 6 complete for Benedictine. Dragon worked 4, Zona the 5th, and now Anderson the 6th. And nobody in the bullpen now for the Hawks. The 1-0 low, and now 2-0 on Brown. 2-1. Tightly contested game, just as we expected here on the Game of the Week. We may be getting a pinch hitter coming up for Benedictine. Next pitch low again. Anderson, 3 in the dirt, and it's 3-0 on Brown. Anderson ready. 3-0 in the dirt for ball 4. 4 pitches and a 1-out walk to Josh Brown, and we'll get a pinch hitter for Woolfolk. This will be Jamari Fleming. Right-handed hitter, and he'll pinch hit for Woolfolk. With Brown at first on the walk and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, Benedictine nursing the 1-run lead. First pitch also in the dirt, blocked nicely by Worley to prevent Brown from advancing. Ball 1, and Tyler Kane, the assistant coach of Hanover, jogging out to the mound to quickly talk to his reliever, Eric Anderson. 5 consecutive ones in the dirt. And the count 1-0 with Brown at first on the 1-out walk here in the 6th. Short message. And Kane going back to the dugout. One and 0 the count on the pinch hitter Fleming. Green is in the on-deck circle. We'll hit unless we get a double play to end the inning. One-0 pitch. Lined over the head of the second baseman, will drop into right center field for a base hit. Fleming with the pinch hit single will put Brown at second. Runners at first and second with 1 out here bottom 2 of the 6th inning with 2 aboard. And Green coming to the plate.
Now running, Rock Carter. Now batting, the pitcher, number 17, Casey Green. Number 17.
So Green to the plate. We've got a pinch runner for the Cadets. That's Sylvia running for Fleming after Fleming singled. First and second, 1 out. Green here could get some huge insurance runs to help his own cause, and we've got action in the Hanover bullpen. First pitch at the feet for ball one. 2-1. 2 in the bottom of the fourth for Benedictine. 1 in the top of the sixth, for Hanover. Third pitcher of the day working now for the Hawks. 1-0. Chopper towards second. Flip to drag him. Over to first. Double play. And the Hawks pull the DP and get out of the inning. So the 4-6-3 double play will strand one. And we go to the seventh. Last chance for Hanover, 1 to tie and 2 to take the lead. Down 2-1. Green will come back in to try to finish it off and have the complete game for number 2 Benedictine, looking for their 20th win of the season. They are 19-1 coming into this evening's game. Hanover started the year 0-4. They've won their last 7, but that 7-game win streak now in jeopardy. Fans, a reminder to join us Friday morning and every Friday at 9:30 on ESPN Richmond, live for RBA Locals Only. On the Black and Drew Sports Huddle, Bob Black and Andrew Wallace get you going every weekday morning at 8 o'clock, right after Golick and Wingo from 6 to 8. And Fridays at 9:30, we talk local sports with coaches, student athletes, and more from the high school ranks and local sports in other areas as well. So join us Friday morning for RVA Locals Only, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance, only on 99.5 and 102.7 ESPN. You can also listen on the AM dial at 950 on the AM dial. And you can listen online in the office at espnrichmond.com if we don't get you in trouble with the boss. And join Bob and Andrew every weekday morning, 8 to 10 for the Black and Drew Sports Huddle, only on 99.5 and 102.7 ESPN. First pitch of the seventh is to Blake Doggett, the first baseman, and it's high for ball one. Hawks need 1 to tie as their dugout comes alive for really the first time today. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. Green ready, 1-1 pitch. Misses high and away, 2-1. Doggett just trying to get on base here and get something going in the seventh, needing 1 to tie. Next pitch, roped into left field. Left fielder going back, and it's at the base of the wall. Doggett around first. He'll go to second. Slides in safely. Leadoff double. Blake Doggett, left field corner, here in the top of the seventh inning. He's the tying run for Hanover. We'll get a pinch runner. That'll be Noah Biggs, who will come in to run. And Colby Hutton comes to the plate. Hutton to bat. Tying run is at second. Doggett doubles to the base of the wall in left field. Biggs will now run for him. Nobody out. Green trying to finish the complete game. Benedictine only up 2-1. Throw back to second. Biggs is there safely. Ryan that time didn't have to act. He had to contort his body to grab that ball to make sure it didn't go into center field. Hutton patiently waiting for the first pitch, and here it comes. Showing bunt, misses for strike one. Lipscomb on deck. Nobody out here in the seventh. Hawks would love to sack bunt, get Biggs to third, and then sack fly could tie it. Base hit could tie it. Showing the bunt again, and that one bounces away, gets over the backstop into the crowd, and Biggs is able to advance one base to third on the wild pitch from Green. And now you're going to wonder whether Green's going to finish or not. And he's not. This is going to be it. So the wild pitch will send pinch runner Noah Biggs to third, and a pitching change coming as he'll go 6 and face 2 batters in the 7th. Will Green.
Now playing left field, number 22, Mark Loving. Now pitching for Benedictine, number 18, Jay Woolfolk, number 18.
So they're going to bring in Woolfolk. So Woolfolk will come in relief of Casey Green, who goes 6 innings and 2 batters. Loving will check in defensively. Should be in left field. That's where Woolfolk was. And Hutton will be facing a count of 1-1 when Woolfolk is ready in a moment. So we're in a pitching change here on the game of the week, as Jay Woolfolk will come in relief. Nobody out, top 7. And a quick moment to send out a tweet about the pitching change, and a quick link to remind fans to join us for the end of this one. And for those of you who have been with us all afternoon, we thank you so much for being with us here live on the RVA Sports Network. Next game of the week, Monday night, softball, Midlothian at number 8 Hanover at 6 o'clock Eastern time on our YouTube channel. Complete broadcast schedule on the right-hand side of the page at rvasportsnetwork.com. And do not forget, easiest way to join us for the game of the week all the time is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/RVA Sports Network. Click subscribe. We'll never spam you. We'll send you email alerts when we post new videos, or we're 30 minutes away, or we go live with the game of the week. So Woolfolk, it's 1-1. That's the county inheritance on Hutton with Biggs at third and nobody out. In the dirt, 2-1. Infield playing in. They will not concede the run. It is the tying run here in the top of the 7th. Coach is trying to get the left fielder to move a little bit further toward the line, because right now, if Hutton hits it over the head of the third baseman, he'll run all day. That went into the knees for strike 1. Check that, strike 2. It's 2-2. My bad. As it was 1-1 when he inherited the hitter. Woolfolk fights back. We're even at 2-2. Runner at third, nobody out. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. First baseman has it. He'll throw home, and the runner is out. Hutton will be safe at first, but that is not the exchange you want if you're Hanover. Biggs tossed out at home. Now the runner is at first, but there's one out here in the 7th. And a fantastic play by Green, who moved over to the first baseman's position to replace Hall, to stab that ball, playing infield in, and then gun it to Fiedler at home. Fiedler a bit shaken up on the end of that play, but he's up and all right. And on the fielder's choice, huge play by Green. Runner at first with one out. Lipscomb takes ball one low. Double play ends the day. Lopez hopes that doesn't happen. The top of the order is on deck for Hanover. One out, but the tying run at first rather than third. 1-0 pitch. Foul back out of play behind us, and the count's even at 1-1. What great instincts by Green. Been pitching all afternoon. Now goes to first, and on the first batter faced, infield in, he's able to stab the grounder, which was not a softly hit ball whatsoever, and then have the force of mind to see the runner trying to score. And it was a bullet right to Fiedler, who blocked the plate perfectly. And Biggs never had a prayer. The 1-1. Off speed in at the knees. 1-2 the count now. And the Cadet fans happy with that pitch from Woolfolk. Woolfolk, he's had a busy afternoon here. And remember, he's committed to Hampton University to play basketball. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three called, and there are two out here in the seventh. Two down, and that brings up Lopez.
Center fielder and leadoff hitter number 3, Will Lopez, number 3.
First pitch at the knees, strike one. Woolfolk trying to finish it off for Green this afternoon. 2-1, tying run at first. Next pitch in for strike two. One strike away from the 20th win of the season for Benedictine. 0-2 the count to Lopez. Woolfolk delivers high. Ball one. Holding on to the one-run lead. Woolfolk trying to save it for Green. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. And the Benedictine Cadets capture their 20th win of the year. They are 20-1 with a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Hanover. The 7-game winning streak for Hanover comes to a close. They dropped to 7-5. Benedictine now 20-1. What a great afternoon of baseball. What action. And the play at the plate does it for Benedictine. Green helping to save his own cause with that throw to nail what would have been the tying run. So the 7-game winning streak of Hanover is over. They went unbeaten in the month of April, but they lose here today on May 2nd, so they're 1-1 in the month of May. Benedictine again seeing their regular season come to a close next weekend, whereas Hanover next has to go over to Atlee for rivalry night on Friday night. A hard-fought game as expected here this afternoon. And what a great win for Coach Sean Ryan and his Benedictine Cadets. On final score, number 2 Benedictine gets the victory over number 6 Hanover. A great afternoon, and the game time coming in right at 2 hours and 6 minutes. Green will get the win. Woolfolk will get the save, but you can almost say that Woolfolk gets the save, but Green got a save of sorts because of that great play at first base. And fans, if you weren't with us just a moment ago, let's kind of capture an update for you what happened. Noah Biggs was running for Blake Doggett. Blake had doubled to lead off the 7th for Hanover. As we get our tweet just in, you can see strike 3 called and the celebration for Benedictine right now on Twitter at the RVA Sportsnet. That's at the RVA Sportsnet. Doggett got the double off the base of the left field wall to lead off the 7th. Biggs came in to run for him. The bunt got Biggs over to 3rd. And then after the pitching change on the wild pitch, not the bunt, but the wild pitch got Biggs over to 3rd. That was when the coaches thought, okay, let's take Green out. Let's put somebody in to close this out. They got Wolfick in from left field. Green moved over to 1st. Infield was in for Biggs at 3rd. Sharply hit ball to Green, who had just reported to 1st, grabs it, and then makes a bullet throw to Fiedler at home, who blocked the plate perfectly. And Biggs did not have a chance. And he was out. And so instead of nobody out runner at 3rd, it was one out runner at 1st. And then Wolfick finishes the job with strikeout and strikeout. So Benedictine gets the victory this afternoon. Final score, number 2 Cadets 2, number 6 Hawks 1. Hawks now 7-5. Benedictine now 20-1 on the season as they look ahead to VISAA postseason. Coming up, not the following week, but the week after next, beginning on May 14th. Rob Witham saying thanks so much for being with us here live from Hyman Field at Benedictine. 2-1 your final, and a big thanks to everyone here at Benedictine and Coach Sean Ryan and the entire staff for making us feel so welcome as we have our first ever Game of the Week baseball broadcast here from beautiful Benedictine. Today's game, an exclusive presentation of the RVA Sports Network, solely intended for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of today's broadcast without the express written consent of HCS Media, LLC, is strictly prohibited. The next game of the week is Monday night at 6. It's number 8 Hanover Softball hosting Midlothian. We'll talk to you Monday night, 6 p.m., and we'll talk to you again Friday morning, 9:30 on ESPN Richmond for RVA Locals only. Good night, everybody.